Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Gene and BT dissect the what-the-fuck moments that makes pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Gene and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
Hey, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is a stspod.club production. Guys, it's cold as all get out over here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And that guy over there, Gene, well, he confirmed to me earlier this week that he would never eat a piece of chicken made by a 3D printer. He confirmed that. This is episode 92 of WTF and episode 1008 of STS Pod. Gene, he's from Gadsden, Alabama, home of the Gadsden City Titans high school team. Well, they finished the season in the second round of the playoffs, losing to the Clay Chalkfield Cougars 44-7. Gene, there will always be next season. I know you're always sitting at the edge of your seat waiting to see what I got to say about the football team. He is wrestling's know-it-all, my partner in crime, my best friend, well, most of the time. He's Gene Jackson, and together we are the echo and impact of podcasting. Have no idea what that means. How the hell are you, Gene?
I'm good. Good Lord, I don't know what do you is AI writing your intros now or something? I don't know what any of that means exactly, but none of it sounded too negative. So
I hear something. Yeah, when I do all this shit, most of the time I hear something on a TV show or a podcast, and somebody says something that is just so outlandish. The thing with the 3D printer is they had a big controversy in Campbell's Chicken Soup, where this guy got hired and he got fired. And guess what? He was recording his intro conversation where the big man, the CEO, said that Campbell's Soup chicken was made by 3D printers. So, wow. Yeah, I wasn't, but he said you wouldn't eat that chemical-based chicken made with 3D printers, would you? So he's in all kinds of trouble. He's probably gone, but that's kind of where I get shit like that at. Pulling the curtain back. No kayfabe going on.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how 3D printers even work. I certainly now the thought of Campbell's Soup chicken being made by 3D printers
I don't think
is even harder to understand. So.
Hey guys, first of all, I want to thank you guys for joining us here on a Tuesday afternoon. This would be coming live during the time people drive home from work. So, Gene, maybe they've got their YouTube up and watching us on the show. I want to do some quick business real quick. Number 3 most listened to, these are audio plays, was WTF last month, 1001. Number 2 was 1,000 Animals Against 4 Wrestlers. That was episode 1,000, a 5-minute time limit. And Bill Rush hit number 1. That was episode 1003. Yeah. Just episodes. That's just audio plays on my feed. Okay. So I was humbled this month, in the sense that there's so much going on positive with the podcast. You go into the end of the year and you think, and you know, it's November, it's kind of a light month, but let me tell you what happened. Most audio listens in 1 month, beating the old record by 123%.
Wow.
Most audio listens in 1 year, we beat the old record by 82%, and we still have December. YouTube record beat by 16%. Retro, that's your channel, By
Mhm.
150%, it was up. We did not beat the Facebook record, but the STS Pod Facebook was up 92%. Just crazy stuff. And we beat our Instagram by 6%. We are waiting as of today, this only being the second. I'm waiting on the TikTok, and we'll get a percentage overall increase from the year. But all I can say, Gene, is I think our partnership has been over 7 months old. I can say that it's been successful. What do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's bringing people both directions to your stuff and mine as well, and I'm very pleased with that. And yeah, man. I mean, just some of that stuff that we're rehashing over on YouTube and on the Substack as well. As you like to say, it was just sitting there, and people are discovering it for the first time and listening to it. A lot of people are, and apparently, I don't know, they're sharing it, or as you've said before, they're hearing that, liking it, going and finding other things, and going into the archives, and so that's what you want. I mean, it's great to do these shows. And it's great, have that first month to look at the numbers. And then a lot of that stuff, people see it that first month and they're on to the next thing, and you're on to promoting the next thing just by the nature of the beast. So having a way for these people to go back and find these old shows and enjoy those and rediscover a lot of interviews that happen that, I don't know if I told you this, like when I was going through the numbers for everything to get you a number together for the retro shows, did I tell you who was the most?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, BT had told me that this was not his favorite interview that he's done. It was just because it was kind of a difficult interview. But Action Jackson, and now this isn't a field. Now keep in mind that might not mean anything to you, but when I tell you that the other interviews this month, Ricky Morton, Jerry Jarrett, uh, gosh,
Jeff.
Jeff Jarrett, uh, you know, Kevin talking to Kevin Lawler about like the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania and things like that. There was a lot of people in there that you thought, all right, well, these are gonna be the ones that draw the numbers, and they did good numbers. But Action Jackson took them down. But that's the thing. That's what I love about like BT seeking out Bill Rush, and that's why I seek out some of the interviews I do. Is a lot of these guys, people haven't heard 50,000 interviews with them. They want to hear what they have to say. Oh, I remember Action Jackson. I remember seeing him on Global or
Right.
78,
Yeah.
and they go and check them out. So that's really cool. Thank everybody all of you that are boosting these numbers up. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And all we ask, if you got one other friend that likes old wrestling, tell them about it. Send them a link, and let's see if they
Old
might
wrestling,
like it
new
too.
wrestling. I do.
Oh
We
yeah,
do
you're
current stuff every day
absolutely.
with Shiznit in it. But the deal is, at the beginning of last year, my deal was to repurpose stuff, and I did repurpose it, and I was repurposing stuff with clips, and then knowing all the action that I get on the YouTube page of Memphis Wrestling with my videos, I knew that I could, if I found another place to put stuff, I would syndicate it, and I guess that's the best word. I would repurpose it on that channel so we could reach other people, and everything just fell in place starting in May of this year with some changes to the podcast. And then me and you have just, I don't know, we got the hustle going, is what I like to say,
Yeah.
and we haven't stopped. It's one of those things where I always said, um, what makes my podcast successful is having stuff out, 2 times a week, blah, blah, blah. But to have things out 2 times a week, plus we're recording on your feed, plus we're putting out, Patreon stuff that people have never seen. I think it's all worked out. All right, we're done patting ourselves on the back, but no, really, that was to just tell everybody thank you, and I'm just overwhelmed. I don't think I'll ever say we broke the old record, but if I do say that in the future, I want to thank you in advance. But that was just, the number was just crazy. I kept saying, well, I guess we're going to slow down. I guess we're going to slow down, but it never did. All right. So quick reminder, next month is our it'll be our December 2025 show. And Gene and I will be awarding the WTF-inator award. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the most mentions in the year of 2025. Gene, number 10, we'll start it out. We're ready to go. It's called There's Something Strange in the Neighborhood. Now, what we did first is we had some of those Japanese matches, and we went over them and laughed a little bit. And then I started fabricating one of the matches and you trying to guess. Well, this month is something different, and I think it fits right into what we've been doing. So give me just a moment. If you are watching the video.
Thank goodness, because I failed miserably at guessing which one was the fake.
I think you'll be able to guess on this one, but man, I just had to present it. If you're not watching the video feed, go ahead, go out of your way, watch this part. But I will try to describe all the pictures and stuff that I put up. So let's get rid of the overlay. All right, Gene. Gene, there's something strange in the neighborhood, my friend. We got a bunch of plastic surgery going on this girl on the left, and she's one of the girls on the right. Is it Natty, Maurice, or Charlotte? You guess.
I'm pretty sure that's Maurice.
Oh, you are correct.
Hey,
but good God, what is going on? This lady does. Look at the picture of her in the past, which is on. She's looking totally different. I don't know if it's just the eyebrows, but we have no wrinkles whatsoever. Smooth head. I don't know if she did something with her jaws and her lips. I don't know.
She definitely did something with her lips.
Her lips are huge. I did this just out of fun, but I also did it because, man, I just don't get plastic surgery. I don't get all this. These women are beautiful, and then they do all kinds of weird stuff to their faces and their bodies. If you want to do this for a personal thing and it makes you feel good, go for it. But man, you're not doing it. I don't know. I guess some guys like this, but I'm just not a fake person. I don't like all the fakeness of it.
No, there's been in wrestling and Hollywood in general and everything, a lot of beautiful women who have plastic surgery themselves into just looking like something that's not even quite human, and it's unfortunate. But like you said, if that's what they want to do and it makes them happy, then who are we to say? But oh my goodness. But yeah, it could have very well been any of the three as far as what picture you found, because Charlotte's done a lot of plastic surgery in recent times, and Natty as well. She's maybe the least obvious of the three, but it's unfortunate.
Woo, yeah. I just I don't even like fake breasts. I want them to look and feel real, That's just me, man. All right, so that was there's something strange in the neighborhood, and our number 9 all the time is what the fuck, Dave? What the fuck, Dave Meltzer? So I got 3 videos this month, and we're going to comment on about what he says about them. So this will be the first one right here.
It's really funny, kind of like the grifters. They're so anti-AEW. I had to have a budget, and he doesn't have a budget. And it's like, dude, they used to cut my budget. It's like, they cut your budget because the freaking company was on verge of losing $80 million in a year. They had to cut the budget, like with Cornette talking about, you guys like Ricochet are stealing money from a rich kid. And it's like, the rich kid's making money. It's like, I mean, imagine like a wrestler from the past of all things getting mad that talent is getting paid because the company's revenues are high. Super high, really, other than not compared to WWE, but compared to everybody else in history. And it's like, you're how
mainly what the fuck came. His buzzword for the month is grifters.
Yeah.
Our grifter. I guess he swayed away from what was it, fraud podcasters or something like that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody that doesn't agree with Dave Meltzer is a grifter.
Oh, great. We'll have a new nickname now.
I don't understand. I don't understand that here, whatever you want to think about Vince Russo, Bruce Pritchard, Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette, all those guys, those 4 guys that I just mentioned, they've been so much in the business. How are they grifters? How do they're commenting on what's going on? And it feels like Dave, I'm going to say something that'll probably piss off some people, but Dave is the grifter. He's never been in wrestling, and he's made a killing off the business. Do you see that, what I see?
Yeah, look up the definition of that word, and you'll understand that what he said is 100% true. That what BT just said is 100% true. That he's the grifter in the situation. The irony of him, but it's just another case of Dave not knowing the meanings of words and just saying things to be saying them, and basically being. He has to be getting paid. He has to be AEW's
It feels
defender.
that way. Well, speaking of, let's watch a video that happened. What happened during one of their recordings, Gene?
In the long run, you end up back where you were, just with a lower price. So, anyway.
I brought that, number one. If you didn't hear it correctly, David's sitting there talking, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call, and it says Tony Khan is calling him. Back in the day, and I know things have changed, but and I don't consider myself, well, I guess I still consider myself a little old school. I understand the business has changed and everything, but would we know back in the day that who Dave's sources? We would guess, but we couldn't really know who they were, right?
Right. I mean, there was speculation that Terry Taylor and certain guys were known to be, but otherwise it was never just out there.
But right now it's just like no one gives a shit. I mean, everybody's made fun of Dave, saying exactly what you said, feels like he's on the payroll, and then he's getting phone calls, and he's even said before, I text TK and told him blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, you have to try to defend your objectivity, but it's not there. And I'm okay if you would just say, hey, I'm a fan of AEW, and I'm going to say they're the best thing going, blah, 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 and no matter what. But that's not what he does. He defends them on everything they do almost, and then he'll say bad things about WWE on kind of passive-aggressive. We know some people that like to do that all the time, so.
Well, they're clones of Dave, so.
Well, that's true. Here's our last clip for the.
Our last what? Are you going to put Maurice back up there again?
We'll put that on a blooper reel. Woo. So what the fuck, Dave? Here's our third video and our last one.
There were many, many, many things that really made me cringe because it's out of control. You keep rolling the dice. And one of these days, it's going to come up like snake eyes, and something bad's going to happen. And I mean, I know all, you know what I mean? It's like, I know they've been doing this for 6 years and all this, and more people probably get hurt on routine stuff than on dangerous stuff. But still, I mean, the lengths that, again, the people in AEW, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them, I mean, and especially on this show, but a lot of them, they go to such lengths to entertain you.
I said what the fuck on this video because he said somebody's going to get hurt. No shit, Dave. My God, they're sticking screwdrivers. They're lighting people on fire. What the fuck? And here's the other thing, too, that made me say what the fuck, is that he gives everything 5 stars. He wants to tell all these guys who are jerking off to what Dave gives them, what stars they give them. And then he says, oh, well, somebody's going to get hurt. Stop doing it. Stop doing stupid shit for no reason. Look, the top 2 guys, Omega and Ospreay, especially Omega, he can barely walk now and come to the ring. So what the fuck is up with that? Shit. That's the way I feel every time I hear somebody say, they're going to get hurt. Dave says, there's so much blood in it. Not my kind of match. 5 stars.
Yeah.
What is that about? I don't get it at all.
And to me, that has now diminished the star ratings to the point that does any of them really mean anything for him now? Because all these matches, like if you go back and look at the history of star ratings from Meltzer, and then you look in recent history of how he's rated certain matches in AEW, they kind of cancel each other out. Something's bullshit there. You know what I mean? Like either his tastes have completely changed, or his standards have completely changed, or else, like you said, he's just handing them out to his buddies because they can wear that like a badge on, for the people who give a shit or even know what it means. Like, well, I might not have done this, I might not have done that, and there might not have been a storyline, but I had a 5-star match on pay-per-view, and here it is. Here's the proof. Well, whoop-de-doo.
It was ever since he started giving over 5 stars to almost every match, he really killed it. I compared it to Cisco and Ebert. Do they 4 thumbs up, not just 1 thumbs up, but 4? They don't do shit never did shit like that. It was thumbs up, thumbs down. And that's kind of the way I feel. I enjoyed the War Games pay-per-view. I didn't star no matches, and I said thumbs up. I enjoyed it. So that's where I'm at when it comes to doing stars now. And I used to be, I was a star guy during WrestlingRideOnline.com, but I have just quit doing it. It's not even worth it anymore. I think I may have to do it for WrestleCon, Wrestle Kingdom coming up. But other than that, I just reserve them for just special shows, I guess. All right, that was number 9. We're up to number 8, and number 8 is always, I might not know it all, but I know more than you. All right, this tweet, which I have blacked out the person. I don't like bullying anybody, but I really wanted to talk about the whole deal, and we've talked about it before. What the deal is with when someone goes from AEW to WWE and they're not winning the championship, then they should have stayed in AEW, and they're not going to get no run because Triple H don't like them and blah, blah, blah. What is it? Why is the losses mean so much to these people that mainly they come out of the woodworks when an AEW guy, AEW sicko comes out of the woodworks about this?
I don't know, man. Like they're supposed to, like freaking Miro is supposed to walk in the door and win a world title or be in the middle of a main angle. And I've seen it. People post, "Oh, he was booked better in AEW." Maybe when he was getting used, but
Right.
you look at the extent of time that Miro was actually under contract for AEW and the time that he was actually used and then used to do anything meaningful other than his little stint as the the freaking TNT champion, I think he was for a while. Other than that, half the time he wasn't even on television. So at least he's on TV. And if you don't like what they're doing with him, then I guess change the channel for that match or something. But my God, the minute somebody gets there, when fucking Ray Phoenix gets there and doesn't get shot to the moon, oh, he should have stayed in AEW. Some bitch hadn't worked in 3 or 4 months, hadn't been seen on TV, and wasn't going to be. Tony Khan made it known he wasn't going to be. And then he goes to WWE, and I'm like, oh, he should have just stayed in AEW. What, to draw a big check and not have to wrestle? Well, maybe you're right. Maybe that's the safer bet, but you can't justify it based on booking. And what other comment is, if you're going to black people's name out, you got to black out the at.
I just noticed that. No, I blacked him out, Gene. Shut up, man. K-Babe, you're not watching I didn't read this. I'll read it real quick. So Miro went to WWE and thought he was going to have a hell of a run, but instead Triple H got this dude losing to Yeet Man, who botches, which he does, everything for a chance to have a match with John Cena. Man, say blah blah blah. They put a bunch of emojis. I get a kick, and when I search for these, most of the time it is me getting the process is I start getting some of this ready, but during the month I'll put stuff in the places. Usually I just, okay, I'm going on Twitter today. I'm going to find the silliest, craziest thing I can see. And it's usually very, very easy to do. Let me just say that.
Oh
There's
yeah,
so
if there's
many.
a hard part, it's just narrowing it down.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Deciding who we're going to do it. All right. So we're up to number 7, which is always our retro moment of the month. Gene, you want to talk to us about this one?
I'll try. I hadn't really read much into it. I didn't choose this, by the way, folks. I only chose the very first retro moment, so I kind of find these out along with you. But and Bret Hart, always have been, but I'm starting to feel about Bret Hart the way I feel about Ric Flair. Just please shut the fuck up. Quit doing these goddamn interviews and trying to say these get these sound bites in there that's going to get your name in the headlines, because people are all too happy to put them out there. But now Bret Hart claims that Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels were lovers. Now that rumor's gone around for years. No one's ever been able to in any way substantiate that and have any evidence that there's any truth to it. But his quote was, "I think there's more going on here between those two guys, honestly. And I'm just being honest and blunt, but I don't know. I suspected, and now I really have serious. I think that Shawn and Vince were sleeping with each other. I'm not. I'm just telling you, I think I'm very close to the truth here." Now, I don't know if all that stammering and stumbling's from like the strokes he's had or just that he's spouting bullshit here, but come on. I mean, even if it was true, why are you talking about this in 2025? You don't want
I know.
to
I just had to put it on there because the idea that we've heard it many
No, I'm
times.
talking about Brett.
Oh,
not
yeah,
you.
that's what I'm saying. And every time Brett talks about the past, you talk about retro moments. That's all he's having is retro moments. He talks about shit that, I mean, just out of the blue. Vince and Shawn are lovers.
Yeah, and to me, it just diminishes his legacy. I mean, all right, I understand Goldberg kicked you in the head. He ended your career, and Goldberg is the drizzling shits. We all know that. We all understand that. Every time a microphone's put in front of your face, you don't have to mention Goldberg. You don't have to try to still. You've already hugged Vince and Shawn on live TV. You don't have to go back and retroactively drag them through the mud again because because Vince is in a bad way. And I don't know what his issue with Shawn is. I don't think there's been any new developments to put heat back on him and Shawn, but it's freaking embarrassing. It's just like fucking Flair. Like every time I see a picture of Flair and see there's a quote by it, I'm like, oh God, now what? And I won't spoil what his latest one is. I'm sure we're going to talk about that, but Jesus Christ.
Well, guys, that was our retro moment. I agree with you. I'm at the point now, shut the fuck up, Brett, but I just find it odd and bizarre and say, what the fuck? What are you trying to accomplish with this? This is the retro moment, and we're going to play the retro commercial for a few minutes. Here in a few seconds, I mean, not for a few minutes. We're going to play it for a few minutes. But, Gene, I had to pop this on the screen. There's a retro moment right there.
There you go. That's more like it.
46 fucking years old. She is still hot. And if you're not watching the video, you missed it, guys. You missed it. That Mickey James. And now we're up to number 6. First, though, let's do the retro commercial.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
All right, we're up to number 6, and there's a reason I put this on here. So, John Layfield, JBL, was on a podcast and claimed he thought Vince McMahon would end up writing a book. Now, there's going to be all kinds of stuff in that book if he doesn't kayfabe, but there also might be a lot of knowledge per se if you're booking a wrestling company and the things that he done and all that stuff. JBL said something that was so true that he pretty much lived the life of a rock star when it comes to Vince McMahon. But my question to you, what is the most bizarre story, Gene, that's going to come out of the biography that he writes?
Well, I mean, if he was actually sleeping with Shawn Michaels, that might be the one. Man, like that book would sell a crazy amount of books. Like people who aren't even wrestling fans, but know like all the shit that's going on with him over the years. But oh my God, I mean, that would just be a magnet for lawsuits. Like there would just be the lawyers chomping at the bit, just waiting to sue over all the different people's name who would get drugged through the mud. Just like this example he gave here of Hogan not telling about his rock star lifestyle. You know, his family would be just chomping at the bit, come sue his ass if he tells any of that. So I don't know if that's, I mean, he's obviously not going to talk about any of this current stuff and all the, you know, there's NDAs on half his life at this point. So I don't know that they'll ever come to be, but like I say, if you want to say the most bizarre, to hear that he was lovers with Shawn Michaels or anything like that, as far as if you're asking for any real example of like rumored stuff, there's been so many Vince McMahon rumors over the years, I can't even think of a good one.
I thought we'd just make up one. I just
well, I mean, in that case, you know, I guess you know when Bischoff first came there and Vince raped him in the locker room. That opening night, right after he made him hug him on TV, might be a good one.
Or the time that Demolition and him had the threesome together. So that may be on there. And I spoke wrong. What JBL was actually talking about Hulk Hogan being a rock star and how Vince could. But, you know, Vince kind of had a rock star life too, right? He might not have had as many drugs and everything as Hogan did. But, man, just the minor stuff we've had come out about Vince backstage. If Vince was actually positive or honest, is going to be the honest about everything. Like you said, he's probably got so much stuff that he can't even talk about, especially the current case and such.
Think about this. Think about the things that Vince McMahon portrayed on camera, having people kiss his ass, having women bark like dogs. That's the stuff he was willing to show you on TV. You imagine what kind of weird shit this dude did behind the scenes when there were no cameras. I don't even know that I want to imagine. I mean, it could be stuff like, you know, threesomes and taking dumps on. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, they talk about, I don't know if you've ever seen someone talk about porn addiction in the sense that you start watching porn and you just watch normal porn, man and girl. Then you go 2 girls, 1 man. Then you go 20 guys, 1 girl. Then 4 black guys, 1 white guy, Chinese guy, 3 blondes, brunette. And then, you know, all kinds of weird stuff. You just keep on and on. And I've seen porn actors talk about, you know, it don't matter, girl, man, it doesn't really matter. After a while, you're just doing a job kind of thing. So I think that's kind of Vince in the sense that he had so much money and so much power over, especially such good looking women, that he just buckled down to it.
Hornswoggle, you got any plans tonight, pal?
You know, he played his son, so you know what they say in Arkansas, right? Incest is the best. So there you go.
Oh Lord!
I
thought it was nothing like rolling your own, but I didn't know if they were talking about. Anyway.
All right, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, it's going to be time for halftime.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live for the final time in 2025. Join us Sunday, December 14th for our annual Grind City Rumble featuring the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, along with TNA's hometown Maine. Then bring in the new year with us on Sunday, January 4th, featuring TNA Wrestling World Champion Frankie Kazarian. And don't miss Super Bout 5 on Sunday, January 18th. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at MemphisWrestling.tv.
Get ready, wrestling fans. MCW is bringing you the action like never before. Experience the high-flying moves, the bone-crushing slams, and the rivals that can only be settled inside the square ring. This is family-friendly live professional wrestling at its very best. Don't just hear about it, be there when the superstars of MCW collide in unforgettable matches you'll talk about for weeks. Tickets are affordable, the action's non-stop, and the excitement is guaranteed. MCW Wrestling, where the future of wrestling happens now. Be there! All right, guys, it's time for halftime. Gene Jackson, the not dancing machine. Gene, that's him, non-dancing. He's not going to dance. He's not going to put it over, folks. Not at all. What I want to talk about with halftime here, we have another video of to me, it's going to be one of those things where are you going to start talking about this all the time now? And is it the main thing is it true? That's the part of it that bothers me. Is same thing with the grifters comment. Just all of a sudden, grifters and fraud podcasts and you name it starts being the main thing going on and becomes a narrative of what's going on. So here we go.
The peak is over, without a doubt. A lot of the peak in the sense of this year, I think it might have stopped a little earlier if it wasn't for Cena. And if Cena's really gone, and I think he probably is, next year, I don't expect, it's going to be instant sellouts unless you're talking about, SummerSlam and Mania and all them. They'll do well for years and years. But the rank and file stuff, I think it's going to be a little bit down. And AEW is still the same. I mean, there's no sign of a turnaround with AEW either when it comes to those numbers. So it's just that. And then, the TV numbers, the Monday Raw, which went against football in the World Series, was the second lowest that they've ever done.
All right. Mainly my thought to you, do you see, and we've seen this happen over and over, do you see WWE is actually cooling off? Do you think that people are going to stop buying tickets?
Well, those prices are going to have a hell of a lot to do with that from, this reading online and listening to what people have to say. I don't know. I can't speak to the general public, but I know, like, me personally, I was following it. So I wasn't watching the shows every week, but I was at least making a point to follow everything. And I hadn't followed shit in the last 2 months. Don't really care. I was this weekend's Survivor Series is the first Survivor Series since 1990 that I didn't watch the show live. And this is probably the one that first one that I know I don't watch at all because I'm not getting the goddamn ESPN app to order it, and I'm not sitting on a laptop watching it over a damn illegal stream. I don't care enough to. So, but I'm the same way about AEW. I just don't watch either one, and I don't care about either one. So yeah, maybe it is cooling off. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but usually there's always at least one storyline going on that I care about. I'll usually always try to keep up with CM Punk, usually Cody, and I was usually always stay up to date on Kevin Owens when he was around. But now, the shit with Cena, I like Cena. The whole botched heel turn and all that shit just kind of put a sour taste on all that. And, he's had a few good matches along the way, but I don't know. It's cooled off for me. I can only speak for me, and it certainly has cooled off for me. But,
I think they had a couple of, non-sellouts, and then all of a sudden the wrestling media wanted to say, well, we're done. This past weekend, they, had sellout 42,000, I believe, or something like that. And I watched 4 games, and like I said earlier, I enjoyed it. I think maybe we should maybe look at what happened with AEW a few years ago, where the crowds were really good, the TV ratings were really good, and then they just started cooling off too. I'm not sure if they're going to cool off to the extent of AEW did, and I'm going to go with you with the change in how you get a pay per view. And I only get it because, I'm not doing anything. I'm on a VPN, which is not illegal, but I just tell them that I live in Australia and I'm able to watch the pay per view on Netflix. But it's just really weird to watch. As soon as something happens, a decrease in one house, we're cooling off. WWE's done. And AEW's having a problem getting 2,000 people in a building. I think they've got a couple of places where they're going to be 18 to 2,200 for the next few weeks. So I don't know. I don't see it cooling off to the point of what AEW has cooled off to, but I will take into account, and I believe what you said. I think them going to ESPN screwed a lot of people. I don't think they will understand that until maybe mid next year.
Yeah.
But not being able to watch the pay-per-views like everyone's been watching them on Peacock, you said, well, I will quit even showing any interest in them. And I think that's it. I think that, and the price, the ticket's going to eventually have to, I say level out, but I don't think level out. I think they're going to have to bring the tickets down to keep the momentum going.
I think so too. And I think WWE has enough of a baseline audience that it's never going to cool down, or the crowds are never going to get anywhere close to as low as some of what AEW is dealing with right now, just because there's a certain number of loyal WWE fans that are going to watch it no matter what. They're going to get whatever app they got to get. I seen somebody did an article yesterday about there were people who already didn't know, but they already had access to be able to get the WWE pay-per-views, but they didn't realize that, and they ordered a separate app to watch the pay-per-views, and they didn't even have to. There's certain people that will walk through fire and bend over backwards to keep up with WWE, and that's great. That's good that they've got that. But to me, they needed to have done that during a time when there's times when they are really hot, and you've got all you got all your diehards there. You've sucked in the casual fans. You've sucked in the fans like me that have kind of moved on. But now, hey, what's going on? Hey, Punk's doing what? All right, we watch this. If they were in one of those times where everybody was just like, God damn, I have to see this, like at the peak of the Bloodline, for instance. That's
right.
I think you would have got a lot of people getting the app. Was like, I can't miss this. Right now, where everybody's kind of like, it's okay. I'll watch it if it's on Netflix. I've already got Netflix. It wasn't a great time to switch platforms, but I mean, what the hell do I know?
Yeah, look at the money they're making. We'll know about this time next year whether that ESPN thing was worth what they thought it would be worth. It's worth it to them. They got guaranteed money, so that's all that matters. But we'll see. We'll see if the popularity starts going down some. All right, guys, that was halftime. All right, that was halftime. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to start out, Gene. And we talked about this. If you're part of the Patreon, go ahead and tell them how to get to your Patreon, Gene.
Patreon.com/retro wrestling archive. We put a lot of content up over there. Now you've got the exclusive video version of the WCW podcast, and the watch-alongs I do with various people, BT being one of them. We got the exclusive Retro Wrestling Review CWA podcast that me and BT are doing right now, and just a lot of cool stuff over there, and a lot of it carries over to both mine and BT, so you can choose one or do both. Neither one are terribly expensive, and there are a few things that vary from one to the other. So
that open mics, hot mics has been one of my favorite things to do, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think it's worth subscribing to at least one of our Patreons
Yeah.
for that one. Number 5 is always Smarks be acting crazy. They be acting crazy, Gene. Here is the first video. And when we come back, I'll tell you exactly what we're watching. But we talked about this. So that's what got me on Hot Mics. We actually had a conversation about this and AI. But let's take a look at this.
Baselines that'll make your neck break. It's Rook will take it, queen, and put your king in checkmate. Open
That was lovely.
Thanks.
If I had control over you, we could stay like this forever, lost in wonderland with our hair above the. Let's light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up, let's light it up. Like shooting stars and burning light in the sky. Let's light it up.
I love you, Chris.
I love you too, AJ.
Wearing rose-colored lenses, pretend we'll never end.
Oh, AI with AJ Lee. She got upset about this. A fan made an AI video where he's kissing on her. She's kissing him. They're talking to each other. Apparently, he did get a VIP where he took a picture of her. Then he put the picture in AI and added all the music stuff. And man, Gene, what's your thoughts on it? It kind of made me feel kind of weird, uncomfortable. How about that?
Let me start by saying, yes, that is fucking weird, uncalled for, and I understand why AJ Lee would not be happy with that. Now, I think she shot herself in the foot by retweeting that and sharing it. And when he shared it, only people who were subscribed or his followers would have seen that. And I don't know who the guy is. I don't know how many followers he is. That could be anywhere from 15 people to 15 million. I don't know.
He had 7,000 when I looked, but
All
that
right.
might have
7,000.
been after all this happened. So you never know.
So potentially 7,000 people could have seen that. However many followers AJ Lee has now, they all saw it because she shared it. So, understand reaching out, wanting him to take it down, but the fact that she shared it and made it go, that's why you have it right now. I don't think you're following that guy, so I don't think you would have had it or known anything about it if she hadn't made a public spectacle of it. So I don't know. I think there was a little bit of overreaction in general, but at the same time, I get why she didn't like it. But this is just the door cracking that far open on something that's eventually going to be a huge thing. AI, because I said when me and you and Josh were talking about it on Hot Mics, I said, this is probably going to be the beginning of the end for these photo ops at these meet and greets, where these ladies are willing to stand right next to these dudes and take pictures. Because I've already heard a lot of them on Twitter and interviews and different places say, that these guys are wanting to take these prom pictures with them, where they're right up against them.
We talked about that.
All that kind of stuff. Well, now when you add this element to it, I think now you're either going to start having, like I say, that COVID Sasha Banks picture where she's literally like 10 feet from the guy, or they're just not going to take pictures with people.
The thing about it is,
the rest of that story is,
and
I'll let you go. Soon it ain't gonna matter because they ain't gonna have a picture of them two together. They can just put them in whatever the fuck they want to, and there'll be damn porn videos going around, and that's gonna be a rough one.
That's what I was gonna say. They don't have to have a photo together. You just Photoshop something and then do the AI. I mentioned this on Hot Mics where there was a gentleman, I guess gentleman's loosely there on that one, but he was a grade school teacher. He was taking pictures of the grade school kids and then later on made porno videos with them.
Jesus Christ.
With AI. Yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg on stuff that's going to happen. And you have to think to yourself, is that illegal? It's immoral for sure. You're a piece of shit. You're a pervert, but you didn't actually film. It's going to get crazy. There's going to have to be somebody step in and say, hey, we can't do this. All right. So there might be porn sites just dedicated to AI porn. Who knows?
Oh, I'm
Um,
sure. I'm sure. And for people that don't know how to do it, there's going to be sites, I'm sure, offering if you send your picture and a picture of whoever you want this video to be of you banging, send it to us. And for however much money, we'll make you the video and send it back to you.
sure. That's going to be, that'd be a scam right there. Let me write that idea down. Next up, Smarks be acting crazy. We got some from Hardwood Dax revealing some death threats after they did an angle with Ricky Steamboat. It said, "You and your two boyfriends are dead. You can join Cash Wheeler and his father in hell. So tell your wife and kids, Daddy won't be coming home. Promise, you bitches." Does somebody need to talk to this guy and tell him it's a work? That scares the shit out of me, though, to think that somebody gets that involved in what's going on.
Yeah, you think in 2025, or at least you'd like to think, that there's really no one left on the planet that believes that much in professional wrestling. But there he is, and he has access to the internet. I knew they'd get some heat beating up on Ricky Steamboat, but my goodness, that's
Didn't know you was going to get you was going to actually get a death threat. That's just crazy. And the final thing that we had was Stevie Richards actually upset the sickos, and I think this is Dave Meltzer went out of his way to call. I think he called Stevie a grifter too, because he's reporting stuff that Stevie wants to talk about things that I think here's the grifter. Yeah, he's talking about Stevie. Stevie Richards got online and said he believes that Logan Paul is better than the whole roster in the sense that anybody in AEW. And since he has that opinion, all of a sudden the sickos get upset. And what does Stevie Richards know? Stevie Richards never done anything, blah, 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 blah. And then Dave gets behind, calls him a grifter. He's just trying to find something to talk about so he'll get the hits and stuff. What's your opinion of Logan Paul and what you've seen of him?
he's way better than he has any right to be. I didn't want to like the guy. I didn't like their whole personas on the internet. I didn't like they were in the boxing world and all that. And when he popped up in wrestling, it's like, man, fuck this guy. They're gonna put him out here and high profile matches on pay-per-views, and he's not going to know what the hell he's doing, and it's just going to be another one of these, hey, let's let a celebrity come in here just to put eyes on the product, even though it kills the product. And from the first match I saw him in, he's been, you'd never guess he's only had a handful of matches.
Right.
From that match with The Miz straight on through, Rollins and all that. I mean, he's had the benefit of working with guys who knew what they were doing, but I mean, kudos to WWE for being smart enough to handle it that way. But now, I mean, he goes out there, he cuts promos, he gets heat, he knows how to promote himself. And I'm not going to double down like Stevie and say he's better than anybody on the roster and all that. But I'll say this, there were guys who had been on the independent circuit for 15, 20 years, some of them, who could not come out and adjust to TV wrestling and do all the different aspects. They could have their high spot match, the same one they've been having for that 15, 20 years, but they weren't good on the mic. They didn't really know how to do the things that you need to do on TV. Logan Paul has felt like a natural from day one. And as much as I don't want to like the guy and I don't want to give the guy credit, you have to. You absolutely have to. And the times I hear him in legitimate interviews where he's kind of talking out of character, that I really enjoyed the one he did where he had Drew McIntyre on his podcast.
Right.
It gave me a lot more respect for both of those guys. Dave must have somebody must have gave him a word a month calendar or some shit, because it seems like every other month at least he has this new word that he latches onto, and then that's what everybody is. All of a sudden, you've never heard Dave use the word grifter in your life, and then here in the last few weeks, everybody's a goddamn grifter.
Fraud podcasters, you know.
Yeah, we were, and so now we can bet that there's going to be some other dipshit on Twitter somewhere or Facebook. And it's going to be hashtag grifter everywhere you look. Oh, god damn it!
I used to talk to someone about those words, those buzzwords they'd grab, and whether they had one of those calendars or not. It seemed like all of a sudden you start using a word, just so weird to me that and Stevie Richards, what the fuck does Stevie Richards know? He's never been in wrestling, so that's what bothers me the most about all these guys. When you have guys that's been in the business as long as they have, or what they've done, whether they've been successful or not, they've been there. You know, they give Vince Russo so much hell. He was Vince's right-hand man for like 5 years. Bruce Pritchard is so much in the business right now. And people go, well, he don't know what he's talking about. I think he might know more than any of us on these podcasts, because we're not standing there when all that shit is happening or when it happens. So, yeah, that's the part that bothers me.
Yeah.
It reminds me, the dirt sheets remind me, and I've had experience from it, but it was an old telephone game where even when I would tell Dave something, he might screw it up. Or if I tell him something and the other person says something, it becomes something totally different.
Yeah.
All right. That was number 5. This is wrestlers behaving badly. And let's listen. This is from, you're going to laugh when I cannot pronounce his last name. Am I going to say it right? Bert Kreischer. Did I say it right?
Yeah, actually, he did.
I got it right.
As far as I'm aware of how his name is said, anyway. I'm not an expert at saying his name either. I've heard it a million different ways.
Almost everybody.
I've heard him say it.
Yeah, almost everyone messes it up when he's on TV. Every announcer. I didn't put this on the clip of this on her. Becky Lynch was also on that podcast, and she's got a lot of stuff going on with the internet listening to this, but she said that she was told that she slept with somebody and she wouldn't say who, which I thought that was kind of silly to start talking about something like this. But if you try to sleep with him and you won't sleep with him, he'll blacklist you. And then if you sleep with him, he'll blacklist you too. So, my God.
You might as well weird. Not then.
I know it. What the hell? Here we go. Here's Seth Rollins' story.
Where we go, we get flipped off, and it's like, no, you don't understand.
But this guy, there's that chicken baby, spatchcocked away. But this guy, I was driving my daughter to school. She was in the back seat with Rue, and this little guy, just walking his dog on the side of the road, and we were just driving. I make this turn, and like unwarranted, he just goes like this. Real tough, you know what I mean? Real tough guy with his little dog. And I was like, oh, God. And she didn't see it. I'm like, tell me to just keep driving. And she was like, just drive. What happened? What's going on? And like, we started to turn away. And I was like, no. And I hit the brakes and I wrapped the back around. And I went up and I found this guy and I parked the car and I got out and I just ran up to this guy. I'm like, you don't know who the fuck people are. You don't know what the fuck.
You don't know who you just flipped off, motherfucker.
I'm like, you don't know what people are going through. I'm just trying to take my goddamn daughter to work or to school. I'm like, you don't know shit about people. I'm like, and then I started going in. I'm like, I don't agree with the politics and this and that. And he tried to apologize.
He was like, it wasn't you, it's the car. Well, the car can't see you.
Your goddamn daughter, I'm trying to take her to work. I mean,
he's just trying to get his goddamn daughter to work. She's got to make some money for them. They're not getting, they're not making enough between him and Becky.
Look, this is the reason number one, I hate going out. And another reason is that I don't like people I've never been in a road rage situation where I went face to face with somebody, but I've came close a couple times. Misty has actually drove past somebody to get the hell out of the way because I was getting upset. But do you not think just because someone flips you off, because of your truck, you could just hold that back? Or Gene, is that going to piss you off too?
Well, I mean, he's been a heel long enough now. You think he would? I mean, at this point, you got to kind of just take the mindset of like, hey, I've been doing good at my job, and just right. I mean, turns out he just flipped him off because he didn't like the car they were driving. But either way, did you really have to have a confrontation on the street to find that out? If it had been me And the guy in the flip mouth been like, "Hey, all right, good job. This heel shit's finally working," But I get it. I mean, I know you don't go out a lot because you get a lot of people flip you off everywhere you go.
Yeah, that's true.
And you got
Especially
a
here
lot
in
of heat,
Jonesboro.
Oh yeah, I mean, you always got these Uber drivers go, "Oh, fuck you," like every time you leave. But it's be a problem. But yeah, trying to take my daughter to work, that was a fun slip up there.
Oh man. All right. Then you spoke about Flair just opens his mouth, shut the fuck up. But he and I'm gonna say something else about this. One of our the SpongeBob SpongeBob. Come on, help me out here. I can't even think.
What are you talking about? Oh, Sponge Bubba SquarePants.
Yeah,
Bubba's Love
SpongeBob
Sponge?
SquarePants. He says, here's the funny thing. All right, Flair comes out and in an interview says that Hogan died from street drugs. And he said that Hogan would get the prescriptions and then he couldn't get more prescriptions. And so he would go to the street. Hey, that's common for drug addicts. It's what they do, or they get prescriptions from 5 or 6 different doctors, which is stopped in most states because you have to be in a different name. You'd have to have a whole different name to be able to do that. But Bubba the Love Sponge got upset after this was out because he said it first. Ric Flair said this, but why didn't everybody say something when he said this? So what the fuck? What was your thoughts? Your thoughts is shut the fuck up, Ric Flair?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, why are you even talking about this, Flair? I mean, whether this is true or not, why are you saying this now? And you've been in interviews crying and made all these statements and how he was so good to you and he's one of the only ones that was there for you when you was in the hospital, on life support, and he helped you out financially. I mean, all these things that he said about Hogan that were great. And then here you are months later saying he died of street. Why? Why are you even talking about it? Much less telling things that either potentially aren't true, or even if they are, why would anybody need to hear that? Least of all from you. I hope his family sues his ass.
Yeah. That's just one of those things where just shut the fuck up. We don't need to hear about that. And our last thing that happened was, and he's one of these guys that does not need Twitter. He doesn't need a microphone in front of him, especially on TV. And that's Ricochet. And he was one of my favorite wrestlers at one time in the business. I enjoyed watching him. But he went on social media to tell everybody that he is better than Flair or Steamboat.
At this point, I think he just does it the way
he just does that.
Kevin Steen was doing it back in the ROH days, when you would just say shit to get people talking, to get people tweeting and retweeting. When's the last time we talked about Ricochet on this show? It's something to get people. I'd like to think that Ricochet doesn't believe that. And I mean, or at least the Steamboat part, I don't know, maybe he is better than Flair. He's no better than Flair on this social media aspect of things. I tell you that much. But I don't know. I don't think it's real. I mean, I think this is an element of this character that he's trying to do in AEW. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. I don't know, but I'd like to think that anyway.
It's possible. It's possible. You're probably right. I just find one of those things where, we talked about this on What the Fuck for the whole time, all the years. It's like, dude, you're on social media. If you don't have any control, let's get off. It just makes you look stupid. That's one of the things I'm so critical of Dave about. I mean, his character or what he does on social media makes him look just crazy sometimes.
That's one of the flaws in social media, I think, is we don't have an established, like some wrestlers use social media to communicate with fans and put things out there from their genuine selves. When they post something, it's that person posting something. Other people look at it as like, this is a way for folks to hear from my character 24 hours a day, and this is a way to keep my character and my story and whatever bullshit I'm trying to keep going right now going, stirring the pot all the time. And that's what they use it for. I mean, I know like a guy like Drew McIntyre, that's not necessarily who that guy is specifically, but he uses it to his advantage. I mean, it's his personality, but he don't necessarily mean all that shit. But he, so it's hard. You got to be careful how you react to it, because it's like, well, is this still part of the show, or is this actually them saying this shit?
Right,
yeah, not, and then you don't look like a fucking mark. Because you're, oh my God, this son of a bitch said so and so. Like, well, yeah, of course he did. It's Ricochet. It's not whatever the fuck his real name is. I forget now, but
yeah. I just stuff like that bothers me, and that's one of the reasons I don't follow a lot of actors and stuff on Twitter and social media. I like actors. I don't care what you do, who you voted for, blah blah blah, because I'm going to watch the movie because of you as an actor, not because you voted for Trump, kind of thing. All right, number 3 has become Shock Me, Shock Me. It's it's turned into what stupid shit is TK saying or doing this month. Had a few things. Number 1, he added another title, and even Dave says it's too many titles. It's a national title that he's going to do. He also had a match, a very important match between Okada and Omega. They finally got to wrestle against, and they unified a title. And then Okada gave up one of those titles. I know it sounds like I'm making up all. Is this USWA 1993 or 91, where we're doing some titles? Then he give the title up so that they can have one of the titles, not both of the titles, so he could have a tournament. The winner of the Continental Tournament is gonna get that title back. I don't know. It's so convoluted with the belts, and TK thinking that every match seems to have a title there. He talked about streaming. He says, I don't have the streaming numbers. I honestly don't know how many people watch it, but they're still positive about it. Still positive about the streaming. This was all during I can't pronounce the dude's name. I'm not even going to try. Former UFC guy, Errol Hawani. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's close.
Ariel Hawani. Yeah. You said it better than I did.
He's talking about 600,000 people on TBS watching is one of their top shows. Talking about Blood and Guts. He talked about the CM Punk thing, which I don't think he understands what kind of damage that did by airing that stuff backstage. If you notice, lots of people were jumping off the bandwagon at that time. And then he's getting in this practice, which I hear Dave's the one that came up with this idea, where they're doing 0 hour, okay, or whatever their pre-show is. Actually, this time they had a 0 hour going on where there's matches, and then they had a pre-show. This is on YouTube, and then on TBS they had a pre-show going on at the same time. But he starts a match on 0 hour and then wants people to buy the pay-per-view to see the finish. I think it's not going to work, especially when it's the BT Express against, you know what I'm saying? It's not a very important match.
Right.
This match is not important. Who's going to spend $50 to watch the finish of, a 4-way or something? I don't think that's a good idea. That's all the stuff that I found that he was talking about or doing, shock me kind of thing, screwing up this month. Any comments on any of that stuff?
I cannot believe they added another belt. The one night that I turned it on Dynamite not long ago, and my wife was in the room, and she was working on schoolwork, and every once in a while, she'd look up as people were making entrances to see if she recognized who they were. And after about 4 matches, she goes, does everybody on this show have a fucking belt? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. We're just about there, because at that point we had seen like the tag champs and the 6-man tag champs and the fucking TBS, TNT, all these different belts. And what is adding a national title do for any damn body? But the whole convoluted part of that unified title thing. I mean, I know they did it in Memphis back in the day. And the funny thing is I kind of get what Lawler was doing back then. He fucking won those 2 belts. Obviously, he wasn't going to get to keep them. Eventually, they would have to go back today to being world class. So him and Jerry Jarrett created a unified title, so they would be able to keep a world title in Memphis moving forward for eternity, and other belts to go back to their company so they could go out of business. So I get that. I don't know what any of this shit's doing for anybody. I mean, if everybody has a title, does any of them mean anything at this point?
That's with me. And then, you make this big deal. You have this history in Okada and Omega, and you make this big deal to have this unification match. And then it's almost like soon as it's over, oh yeah, I need one of those belts back. Yeah. And we're going to put it up for that tournament that we do did you not think about that before it happened?
Probably not, honestly. He doesn't think forward.
Number 2 was a story that I had to bring forward. It's not really what the fuck, but it also gives some kind of knowledge to the way some people look at the business. Triple H saying that he books toward storylines and not great matches. Now, Dave made a point to say that AEW and CMLL, which CMLL is the only one still drawing good crowds, actually book to have great matches. What Triple H was trying to say is, look, we like what happens at the front. We do the story, the match. The main part of all of this is that we have a good guy, bad guy, whatever, we tell a story, and it's the ending of the story. Is the ending of the story the end of the story, or do we begin to have something else happen after that? You cannot, and the AEW has proven this, you cannot just say, we're going to put on a bunch of 5-star matches and people are going to watch, because they're not watching, right?
Nope. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people got up in arms about saying, oh, Triple H doesn't care about booking great matches. Well, no, if you book solid storylines, the great matches will come out of it. But what he's saying is what you said there is where you can tell, especially like these Forbidden Doors and all this kind of shit, where it's just like somebody sat down with a notebook and was like, what would be a 5-star match that you never thought you would see? Well, this guy gets this guy gets it. And you have a card full of matches. There might be one match on the entire show, and sometimes not even that, where there's any element of an angle or a story or nothing. It's just, wouldn't it be cool if these guys wrestled? Pay $50 this weekend and see how it turns out. And then you get a 5.5-hour show full of bangers that mean absolutely fucking nothing. And like you said, then you have title matches that after it's over with, you just throw the belt away because it didn't mean anything to start with.
This goes back to some of the conversation we had on the last episode in the sense about the pay-per-views. There is that niche that is still buying the pay-per-views because they know exactly, like you said, they know exactly they can watch the pay-per-view, get caught up, and see bangers. That's the only thing they're looking for. They're not looking for a storyline. They're not looking for bad guy, good guy. They're just looking for a good match until they start having shitty matches on their pay-per-views, which they talked about this one wasn't as good, didn't have as many 5 stars as the last, 25. They're gonna see some kind of decrease in that pay-per-view number if they keep doing it this way for that core. But that core's not paying the bills. What's paying the bills is these storylines that people are invested in. There's the only storyline that I know in AEW is that they did a very drawn-out storyline with Hangman Page and Swerve, and everyone talked about how it drew blah, 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 but then, the next pay-per-view draws more, and it has Hangman and Samoa Joe on top.
Yeah.
So I don't follow it enough to know. I just know that Hangman and Swerve, unfortunately, both good workers, but they would be mid-card in WWE. And that's, I hate to say that because
you saw where Swerve was when he was in WWE.
So I mean, they would be mid card because not main event, and you know that's just the way it is. All right, so the last thing, number one on our list this month, and I said, what the fuck? I just wanted to have a good time with this one because we had a Japanese wrestler this past, well, during Thanksgiving week. Gene, he was suspended by the promotion for 3 months in a temporary reduction in pay because, let's guess, was it a drug charge? Was it a alleged rape charge? No, folks. He didn't have a driver's license, and he ran into somebody in a car accident.
And
So
he got
tell
suspended from All Japan Wrestling for 3 months with reduced pay.
Does this tell you how different the society and the culture is? This guy actually got punished for having having a car wreck. And what did the Usos do?
I was just about to say, that just confirmed the Usos, no matter how hard times get, are never going to go to All Japan because God help them. Wow,
he was driving his personal vehicle after a show. He failed to notice a red light at the intersection, and he had the wreck. Then they noticed that his license expired over a year ago, and then All Japan said, "Well, you're out of here.
You've brought dishonor upon the dojo. You must go."
Oh man, that was so odd to me, and tells you, we talk about that, the matches when we go over them, and how the culture's so different when they do stuff like that. And it's one of those things where it just made me laugh to think that of all the things that wrestlers in the United States have got into, and they just sweep it under the rug and they keep going. With this guy has a fender bender, and he has no driver's license. I wonder if he'd had driver's license, if they would have went ahead and let him. It would have been okay if he'd had driver's license.
Perhaps, maybe that's the deal. They wanted to have a actual license. What do you think these guys would have done to Brock with the things that's been against him recently? Like,
oh man, yes. All right, guys, you want to put over something before we get out of here?
Check out. Damn it, I've got kind of my own link to all links now, but it's brand new. I can't remember what it is that takes you to all the stuff. So, but you can check out substack.com/retro wrestling archive, where you can find all the written articles and all the audio versions of all the podcasts. And then you can check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@retro wrestling archive, where, man, I was looking at the numbers last night. We had a really strong November. November was good. And so hope we can keep building upon that. And you can go to uswapodcast.com and find all the links relative to our USWA podcast we do every week. There it is. Yeah, that's we ain't got all day. Next time I'll be prepared and have that link that will take you to all the different things.
Sounds good. Your own link of all links.
There you go. I had to steal that from you. That's a good
idea.
idea.
I've been saying that for 100 years, it feels like. All right, guys. Same bad time, same bad channel. Only the best. And hey, if you're watching it right now, we're going to Patreon. We got a few extra stories we're going to add. Come on, guys. Join Patreon. We got a $4 deal. It's Black Friday. I'll keep it up for Black Tuesday. How's that? $4. $4.
I don't know if that's appropriate.
Where am I at? Okay. Same bad time, same bad channel. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, Gene, you know this, I love my mama. And by the way, just real quick, this coming Saturday, hell froze over, folks. As you see in the corner, Jerry the King Lawler on Memphis Wrestling. There you go. There you go, Gene. Well, I can't ever do that. Yeah. All right.